Meet my new friend Roger. Roger is a hostel owner and content creator, originally from Spain. After his first visit to the Philippines, he never looked back and has spent the past 7 years living in Palawan. He creates awesome content about his life on the island, so be sure to check out his videos, link below. Roger and I had a wonderful conversation about the lifestyle that Palawan allows him to have, the similarities and differences between Spanish and Filipino culture, the local drinking traditions in the Philippines, and so much more. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Spain, Barcelona, small town near from Barcelona.
And so you grew up there and then you moved to the Philippines much later in life.
Yes, exactly. I grew up in Barcelona and I just decided to start to travel around the world, and I have arrived here in Philippines and was the first country that I have arrived. And I got in love with the life here, with the easy, simple life, with the people, and I say, okay, why not to stay here, to do a life here? And I'm so happy to stay here.
Yeah, so you've done some traveling to other places then before you went to the Philippines?
I have not traveled.
Because the Philippines was the first one.
Yeah, was the first stop. I was planning to travel 1 year, 2 years around the world, but I say I love this place and it's what I was looking for, something that I was feeling good, some place that I like it. And I arrived here in Philippines, in Palawan, in a small town that is called Barton, and I got in love there with the people, with a simple life, with everything. And I decided to stay and start a life here.
So how long were you in the Philippines when you decided that you were going to stay there?
1 month.
1 month?
Yeah.
What was the first thing that kind of you noticed when you went to the Philippines? The first thing that surprised you or, kind of intrigued you or made you want to stay?
What I got so surprised is how the people live here, how happy they are. If we compare in Europe, in Spain, people there, it's so stressed, people have to work a lot, and people don't enjoy the life. And when I have arrived here, for me it was amazing that people don't have nothing, they don't need nothing to be happy, they are smiling all the time, they are so kind with other people, they offer to you everything, even they don't have nothing. For me, it's the most important thing that I say, wow, this country is amazing.
Yeah, I've heard that from other people as well, how Filipinos seem like they're more content even when in comparison to other countries, they might have less in terms of, material possessions or money or things like that.
People to be happy don't need material things. They wake up and they are happy just talking with the family, going to fishing. They don't need a lot of material things.
Have you ever wanted to learn Tagalog but just didn't know where to start? Let me help you with my beginner's Tagalog course. Between 2 volumes, this course includes 18 structured video lessons designed to walk you through the basics of Tagalog one step at a time. Plus, you'll also get lifetime access to PDF vocabulary sheets to help you review and retain what you learn. I made this course because I know how hard it can be to find high-quality Tagalog learning materials. I built the resource that I wish I had when I started. Ready to learn? Check the first link in the video description below to get started. Now, back to the video. Would you say that in Spain, that is the mindset, that people are more materialistic? Like they want to buy the new house and the new car and get the new promotion at work and things like that?
Yeah. It's like that. It's the system. I think we are in a system that you grow up, you have to go to a school to study, and when you finish, you need to find a work, a job, and stay working all the life because, of course, you need to stay to live, a place to live. Then you have to buy. You take credits with the bank, and it's a circle that it's difficult to go out later. When you have chills, every time it's more complicated and you need to work every day and spend all your time. And here I think it's more easy, the life. You don't need a lot. You can wake up, you can go to fishing, you don't need a lot.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the things is it feels nice to have stuff, to have a big house and to have a car and whatever, go on vacations, but that requires money, and money requires your time, right? You got to be at work. You got to be earning that money somehow. So pretty soon you can get to the place where you have a lot of stuff, but you don't have any time to really enjoy it, right? Where if you have less, you're kind of lowering your cost of living and almost buying your time back in some ways, you know? So like, how does it work for you now living in the Philippines? What do you do to make a living now that you're there?
I have arrived here when I have arrived, and I did a small hostel that with that in Port Barton, Palawan, that is a small town, Port Barton, located in Palawan, between Puerto Princesa and El Nido. And I did a small hostel that I have enough to live. I work, of course I work, but it's the kind of work that I like. It's just talk with the guests, talk with the people. I'm also comfortable with the Filipino staff, that they are so nice, it's different. And with this I have enough. I don't want to have a lot of business. I just want a simple life. I'm happy. What I have now, the good point is I have a lot of time for me.
And Palawan is a great place to have time. I mean, that's one of like the most recommended places in the Philippines to go on a vacation. Every time I talk to Filipinos, they always say Boracay, Palawan. Those are like the number one and number two places that are usually recommended to me. And I would imagine other, foreigners as well. So you're in Palawan now then. You've spent the whole 7 years living there?
Yes, I have spent the 7 years living here. Sometimes when it's low season here, that is May to November, I travel a little bit. I go back to Spain to visit family, the friends. But yes, Palawan, it's amazing. For me, the views that El Nido offers to you, Port Barton also is a small town that have a super nice vibes, have a super nice views, beaches. It's amazing. It's one of the most beautiful places that I have never seen. The ocean, it's amazing there. You have nice waterfalls. I recommend highly to the people to come there.
Palawan is like a very touristy place as well, right? Lots of people travel there, and sometimes it can be seen as a place that's very busy. Are there areas of the island that you can go to that are more relaxed, more chill?
That's true that during hike season, there is places in Palawan like Puerto Princesa, El Nido, maybe Port Barton, that it's full of tourists. If you go to the center of the town, what is amazing for me that you cannot find in another place of Southeast Asia, it's that you go 30 minutes from El Nido, you go 15 minutes from Port Barton, and you have beach that there is no one there, because people usually they travel, for example, in Port Barton, that I'm living there, everybody's going to Coconut Beach and White Beach, that it's 10 minutes from the town. But if you go to the north, you have another beaches that are amazing, are not touristic, and you go there and you cannot find no one, even local people. You have it just for you. Later, also there is another places like San Vicente, it's not so touristic, that we have the Long Beach, that is a beach that have 14 kilometers. Also it's empty, it's amazing to stay there, and you can ride with a motorbike in the sand of the beach. It's super nice experience. And later, there is a part in the south of Palawan that it's called Balabac. And it's not really touristic. Tourists are starting to arrive there now. And for me, it's amazing. For everybody that can visit there, it's amazing. That's true that you don't have hotels, you don't have restaurants. You just can do a tour of 3 nights, 4 days, or 4 nights, 5 days. And you go with a boat, maybe you sleep in a tent, you eat the fish that they are fishing. But the place, it's... for me, the best views that I have never seen. Much more better than Maldives. The water is super clear. It's amazing place. It's an amazing place.
And it's pretty small, right? Like it's pretty easy to get around, I would imagine, because it's not a huge place, like in terms of, from one side of the island to the other. How far is that?
Maybe it can be 9-10 hours.
Oh, really? Oh my God, I didn't realize it was that big.
Yeah, almost everybody take the plane until Puerto Princesa. And Puerto Princesa to El Nido, you have around 4 hours. And later in the north of El Nido, there is also a lot of spots that there are not touristy. And Puerto Princesa to Balabac, that is the south, maybe you stay 5-6 hours with van.
I remember hearing in the news a while ago, maybe a couple of years ago, that in Boracay, they actually closed some resorts or something like that because there were too many tourists and they were kind of negatively impacting. I think it was like the coral reef in the water or something like that. Do you think Palawan, as popular as it is, will ever get to the point where there's too many tourists and they'll need to close it down?
Now in El Nido, they are talking to close because they have a problem with the water. I think with the water, the point is 10 years ago, Palawan was still not really touristic and have grown up so fast. And the problem was people start to construct and the government, they were not realizing that was growing up so fast and the infrastructure, for example, all the water of the septic, we are working here with the septic tanks. That is, all the water from the toilets, it's going to the septic tank. But we don't have a system that we can throw this water and can go away. And they are talking now in El Nido to close it to solve that. But they have started to talk that 5 years ago, and we don't know if it's going to happen. I don't think so. And I think if they do that, they are going to do for parts by parts, not close all Palawan, all El Nido in one time. I think they are going to close first this barangay, later another barangay, and do it by parts. But that's true that Philippines have this problem that before was not really touristic and get touristic so fast and people start to construct and the infrastructure was not ready.
And I would imagine that Spain is different in lots of ways from the Philippines. Like if you were to compare your life now, your day-to-day life living in Palawan with the life you had in Barcelona, what would you say like the biggest differences are?
The biggest difference for me is what we were talking that here it's easy life. It's the way that people have to live the life. There we are stressed. We are working all the year to go 2 weeks holidays, maybe here in Philippines or wherever, and we are not happy every day. People don't wake up and it's happy going to work. People go to work because we need money. We are in a system that we need money, and we cannot stop. And here in Philippines, any way you want material things, it's difficult to get it. It's so different. I wake up every day and I'm happy. People, it's so nice. People don't have stress. For me, it's the more big difference. Later, that's true that maybe Spain or another countries offer to you another things that we don't have here, like can be hospitals, if you want entertainment, like go to cinema, go entertainment in general, we have much more things there. But here you realize that you don't need that. With a simple life that you can wake up, walk a little bit, go to the beach, do whatever, talk with the people, you can be happy and you don't have the same stress, because there you are working for a company, they are asking a lot, and people it's stressed there, working a lot. And here people it's much more happy, much more kind. For me it's the biggest difference.
Yeah, and that's a huge difference. That's a huge difference because it affects, how you live your life every single day, right? And how you spend your time. Were there negative things? Was it hard to get used to life in the Philippines? And maybe not even negative things, but were there things that were just like culture shocks that you experienced, when you first arrived?
Yes. I think Philippine culture can be so similar in some things to Spanish culture, but that's true that there is some things that you get shocked when you arrive. For example, in terms of friends, I think we are so similar, Spanish culture and Philippine culture, but in terms of work, what we are talking about that they have easy life, they are happy always, they don't care a lot the things. In terms of work, happen that you have your small business, you have your staff, your workers, and sometimes, for example, they don't appear to work because they have another things to do, and for they it's normal. Then you have to get use of that because it's the way that they are working here. For me, it's a super nice thing because they are so happy and then they don't care, because if I don't work here, I'm going to work another place. If not, I'm going to go fishing. But it's difficult, like when you arrive here and you try to put a small business to run, it's a difficult part that you have to get used.
Yeah, it's kind of like the relaxed island vibe, like the relaxed culture. It's really nice when you want to relax and you want to enjoy your time, but it can be hard when you want to get something done and the other person is more relaxed. There's pros and cons to it depending on what you're doing in the moment, I guess, right?
Yes. It's like that.
What are some other things that you see that Spain and the Philippines have in common?
Starting with language, because Spanish, we have been here a little bit more of 300 years until 1000 1898, I think. And the language, we have a lot of similar words that they are still using. Filipinos, they loathe about the same things than us. We can have a normal conversation like we have there in Spain, that I've been in other countries of Southeast Asia, and this is more difficult. They think so different. Religion, almost everything. The way to live, I think it's similar. It's similar. We have similar culture.
So do you feel like a familiarity being in the Philippines? Does it feel a little bit like home?
Yes, I feel like home, totally.
And do you think it works the other way as well? If a Filipino person moved to Spain, do you think that they would feel at home there as well?
No, I don't think so. In Spain, there are a lot of Filipinos working there, but I think it's different. Filipinos move to Spain maybe for money, just because salaries maybe are a little bit higher and they think that they can get more money there, but not for the style of life, I think. I met a lot of Filipinos that they have been working in Spain or in Europe, wherever, and they have worked, they have make money, and later they come back here to Philippines to enjoy the life, to retire, to don't work, and to enjoy. But I think all the expats that we are here, we are living here for the lifestyle that we have here, and we are not thinking to come back now there. We are happy here. We have a simple life that it's what we are looking for, at least in the islands. Maybe in the Manila, in the big cities are different, but in the islands it's like that.
You mentioned the language, how there's some similarities with Spanish and Tagalog because of not just Tagalog, but other Filipino languages as well, because of the history of Spain and the Philippines. Have you learned some Tagalog since you've been there?
Basic Tagalog. It's a signature that I have to do. I have to start to learn more. I just learned the basic Tagalog, just to go to buy something.
You have a bit of an advantage, if you can speak Spanish, right? There, like you mentioned, there are lots of words that are the same, and you definitely see that. And words that are the same but used differently, My fiance is Colombian, and so I learned Spanish as well for her, but I learned it years after learning Tagalog. And so now sometimes when I compare the two languages, I go, oh, that's so interesting. I never realized that, that word came from Spanish because I didn't know the Spanish word. Or sometimes I'll see how the Spanish words sometimes come into Tagalog, but they come in one form and they're used completely different in the Philippines. Like one of the examples that I bring up a lot is manejo. They say in Tagalog, they say magmanejo, means to drive, right? And that comes from the Spanish manejar. But in Spanish, they have manejo as well, but that's the first person form, right? That means I drive. But in Tagalog, it becomes magmanejo is like just to drive in general. Someone else could do it. Nagmamanejo ka. You're driving. And so if you speak both languages, it's interesting and it's kind of funny sometimes. You're like, oh, I wonder why they're using that particular form, the manejo form, and not manejar or manejas or there's lots of other forms that could be used that weren't. It's kind of funny linguistically, And then there's another thing that's interesting too, not just with the language, but with food. There are food that comes from different dishes, I guess, that come from Spain or, different Latin countries. Lechon in Cebu, adobo is also, a Latin food. Empanadas in Ilocos, right? They have empanadas. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Do you eat a lot of Filipino food living there?
Yes, I eat a lot of Filipino food, also European food, because I love it also, but there is some things that I love. They have nice things. I don't like a lot the rice that they are used to eat rice for breakfast, dinner, and lunch. But they have kind of things like you was saying, you was talking now about lechon, that I love it. It's amazing. The way that they eat the lechon, because for me, describe a little bit the Philippine culture, that they are always celebrating and they do lechons every week almost. Everybody, all the families, to make celebrations, to stay with the family, with friends, to share. I love it. This kind of parties that they do, with this kind of food, that they put the food, everything in the middle.
Boodle fight. Well, the banana leaf.
Boodle fight, yes. Like boodle fight, that they put the banana leaf.
Yeah, food has an interesting place in Filipino culture. It's definitely valued more than it is, here in North America. Like, of course, we eat food like anyone else, but it's not as much of a staple of the culture. If you go to a Filipino party, the food is a big deal, right? They got lumpia and sisig and adobo and siomai, and like when you finish the party, you're sent home with a bunch of food, right? Everyone has, like, take this for your lunch tomorrow. Very like generous with it, and it brings people together in a unique way. I like how you described it, that lechon shows that they celebrate a lot, lots of celebrations and parties and things like that. So is lechon your favorite Filipino food, or do you have another one that you like?
I have a lot that I like, but yes, I think it's my favorite one. I love adobo also. I like everything, but I think lechon is my favorite one.
That's good. Yeah. And now, are you talking about lechon as in like the entire pig, like the on a spit, or are you talking about like lechon kawali, just the belly?
No, the old one, the big one that they are cooking it during 4 or 5 hours, manually way. They are turning it. It's an experience also to cook it.
You like Filipino beer? Have you been drinking Red Horse or San Miguel?
Yes, light and pilsen. I love it. I love it. Red Horse, when I have arrived, I have drink, but now I don't drink more. It's dangerous beer.
It's pretty strong. It's very strong. I made a video where I tried Red Horse for the first time when I was in the Philippines last year. It was fun. I went to like this little tiny kind of sari-sari store, and I tried the Red Horse with a bunch of guys that I just met that were just sitting outside, and as Filipinos typically are, very welcoming. Hey, yeah, join us, have a beer. And I sat down and drank a few of those with them, and yeah, it's strong for sure. You feel it really quickly.
Usually tourists, when I arrive here, they start drinking always Red Horse. But after some days or some week, everybody change, because you drink 3 and you don't feel. But when you stand up, you say, oh, it's hard.
I mean, they also come in very big bottles, right? Like the San Miguel, they're like a smaller bottle, so you're also consuming less beer, right? Or with the Red Horse, you're consuming more. So that makes a big difference too. I mean, they also like gin a lot in the Philippines, right?
Yes, it's so funny because they are used. They have a way to drink. Usually, at least in the island, that they buy a bottle of gin and they have 2 glasses. In one they put water, in one they put gin. And one person drink the gin, later he drink water and he give to the next person. And they can stay drinking here during hours. One person, making a round. They stay hours like that.
That's interesting that you say that. Yeah, because when I was in the Philippines as well, we went through a kind of a smaller barangay in Manila, me and some of my friends. So we came across a girl who was celebrating her birthday with her friends, talking about Filipino celebrations as well. And they were just out on the street, hanging out, drinking gin. And they said, hey, you want to come over and have a shot with us? And we said, yeah, of course. Yeah, let's have a shot. And they gave us one shot, and then they immediately gave us a glass of water and said, oh, that's like the chaser, like after the gin. And that's not something that we do here in Canada. Like, you don't drink water for a chaser. You normally drink something kind of stronger, like maybe Coke, or maybe like some people do pickle juice because it's really strong and it takes away the alcohol flavor. But I'd never seen water as a chaser. So maybe that's like a Filipino thing.
Yeah. I don't know why. If I say the truth, I don't know why, but yes, it's interesting. I just saw it here in Philippines.
Yeah, the drinking culture is very interesting. I mean, there's a very strong drinking culture in Spain as well, right? Like wine is very popular in Spain, is it not? Sangria and things like that?
Yes. With this, I saw little bit of difference between Spanish and Filipinos. Because Spanish, we drink, I think in another parts of Europe, we are different also that another part of Europe in Spain. Because we can start to drink early and we don't drink to get drunk. We drink just to enjoy, and slowly we can stay drinking what you are saying, a little bit of wine during the dinner, later maybe do gin tonic, later sleep a little bit, later drink. And here that's true that people drinks and they get drunk so fast. Also, if they drink gin and in a round that they don't stop, they get drunk so fast. We have a difference here between Spain and Philippines.
Different paces. Yeah, one is slow and one is fast. I mean, to be fair, if you're drinking gin, you do get drunk a lot faster than if you're drinking wine as well.
Of course, of
Happens
course.
real quick. Yeah. What would you say your favorite thing about Filipino culture is?
There is a lot of things. That's why I'm here. One of the most, maybe, celebrations. They have celebrations for everything. They are always celebrating. Even in the school, the kids, they have a lot of holidays and they go to the school always happy because so often they have or holidays or celebrations, the parties, how they celebrate it with all the family, with all the friends. They share everything. It's one of my favorite things.